program process. We are going to go through the creating a program process. Again, yet today, this one I showed it a little bit differently. This is a process that actually is used every time an application is developed. I use it when I'm working on a larger application. If it's something simple, usually I can get it done in one iteration, meaning one time through it. To iterate means to do it multiple times and kind of do the same thing, but each time you make it better. So we have 3 to-dos here. So let me get that out of the way. So the first part, we know we have input, calculate, and display, right? Oh, okay. Well, anyway, as we're looking at our program, we have input coming into the program. This black box is the program does something with it. So this, for us, is coming in from the keyboard. And the output is whatever we see on the screen. All the calculations, variables, all that kind of stuff happens in here, this black box area. So developing any program will involve mistakes and dead ends, and things won't work. And what we want to develop is a process where you can solve those things by actually dividing things into pieces and doing things one part at a time. What we don't want to do is write 5,000 lines of code and then try to figure out if it works or not. Yeah, that's just like asking for trouble. And I'll have people that do an entire assignment and then they start debugging it. And it's like, okay, well, we have to break it down and just work through little pieces at a time. In fact, in programming environments where you're working professionally, you may be responsible for the taskbar button and that's all you do. And the guy next to you might be responsible for this part and somebody else will be responsible for this part because it's all divided. The code is divided into little pieces. So Savannah might work on the pinned part and somebody else might work on some other part, but it all comes together. But you're just working on your little piece. You don't have to see the entire Windows program of code. You just have to work on your part. And that's what we try to do is break things into little pieces. We had something about an elephant last time, and I think somebody accused us of eating elephants. Was that this class?
Yes.
Okay, that's what it was. You eat elephants? Yeah. So anyway, my first pseudocode would just be to divide up input, calculate, display. That's a general division of things that we do. I also have the rest of this stuff in here. Now, this is getting a little more complex, right? So this one is a little bit simpler. The pseudocode is a little bit simpler. Here I have converted it into Python code, right? Have I converted it totally into Python code? Kind of. But what we're going to do is take this and go through how to do it yourself in Python code. So this one is kind of an example of what we'll be working on doing more and more. So I'm going to select that, copy it. You notice now you can copy and paste and do things in there. I finally figured out how to put things on GitHub without it having to download it. Because what will happen in my class, I'm forever having a student email me say, oh, this is weird here. What is this? Or, it's because when I create it, I think I've got it right, but I don't. I make mistakes like everybody else. So I fix things. This last time I fixed this one was, a year ago. So this hasn't broken in a while. I always have date stamps down here. Whenever I update it, it automatically updates that stamp. So I know if what you're working on is current by comparing it to what's on my GitHub site. So that's my version numbers. How about that? So to speak, keeping track of which version I'm working on. All right, so we go over to our little program, which we need to, I'm just going to call this payroll. I don't know what I had in the assignment. And I'll paste in my pseudocode. And you can see with my pseudocode here in my to-dos, I've already figured out all the logic. Hi, Ernesto. I've already figured out all the logic of everything. We know how to do much of this. We already know how to do much of this if I hadn't figured it out for you. What we want to do is work out, we know that we need to get hours worked and hourly rate. So I'm going to take this out and don't look at my answer. What would be one way to calculate our regular pay?
Hourly rate.
Times.
Yep. And I'm just gonna hard code sometimes when I'm creating a new program, I hard code things so I can test it. That's what I'm gonna do here. So I'll just do hours, hourly rate, right? Sorry, I'm getting right to you, we'll just say your hourly rate is it 15 right now? I think it's 15. No, is it 14 going to 15 for like student employment?
Oh,
Like what you get at, I mean, we have federal things that tell us how much we pay students.
oh,
It's 14 going to 15 or 15 going to 16. It's one of those. So we'll just say it's, yeah, he wants 154. Anyway, we'll just say it's 14. Okay, so to calculate regular pay, which I'm gonna call it regular pay. Savannah had the answer. Right? I'm to the point where I can type in your answer, Savannah.
Hours worked times hourly pay.
Okay. So we've solved one problem. Right? That works just fine. You solve things one problem at a time. When I'm working in a complex program, I may hard code some values so I know the answer. And I will do it on a calculator, on a piece of paper, or find a calculator on the internet so I can test, are my calculations working? Well, we're good with calculating the irregular pay. Yeah, let's pull that out because that already gives the answer. I want you to think through it yourself. So we know the regular pay. So for example, if I work 40 hours, this works fine, doesn't it? Correct? As we're thinking through this. We're thinking through this and paying attention to me, not typing in your homework, right? This is a thought experiment. I should say that at the beginning. We're all thinking together on this. So we have 40 hours times 14 would give us our regular pay. We're good. Right? But what if Ignacio works over 40 hours one week? He says, boy, Willa says, I have all these extra barges and things for you to lift and tow bales to and all that. So he worked 45 hours. Well,
regular pay times the like excess hours.
well, and we get paid in the United States, time and a half is very common for overtime. So I'm going to make a little constant here. Remember, we've been working with constants, and I don't know if I have that in my solution. We'll just say overtime rate, maybe. Overtime rate is equal to 1.5. So any overtime hours, if I'm making $14 an hour for my regular 40, if I do 5 over, those 5 hours get the regular pay plus 1.5 times that. So I get 50% more for only those extra 5 hours. Okay. So we are either working 40 or less, or we're working 40 and above. So what do we have in our arsenal of everything here can be done with everything that we've learned already. What do we have in our arsenal to let us determine that?
If the hours worked is greater than 40.
Yep. So we'll do that if hours worked is greater than 40, which I should have a constant for that, but I'm going to. Oh, I have this in the wrong order, don't I? Yep. I'm like, I'm hitting the wrong key. I'm hitting the caps lock. There we go. That's why it wasn't working. Because this should be up. I grabbed the wrong one, didn't I? This should be lower.
Yeah.
Yes, sorry, I'm in the wrong place. All right, so this should be down here. There. Pay no attention to that to do. So if the hours worked is greater than 40, we calculate one way. And so we're thinking that if it's 40 or less, we calculate some other way, correct? Is that a good, do you think that's a good decision-making process?
Can we put the if after the regular pay calculation and then just add the rate times
Yep.
whatever is over?
Yep. That's good thinking. Because whether Ignacio works 41 hours or 108 hours, he still gets regular pay for the first 40. Doesn't matter. So we've divided and conquered. We've taken care of the 40 no matter what. And if it's below 40, we've taken care of it. The exceptional case, meaning the one that is unusual, is if Ignacio works over 40 hours, then he has to get paid time and a half. If he doesn't get paid time and a half, we're done. Right? I mean, we're with our program, we're complete. So if the hours worked was over 40, and that's good problem solving and good thinking, because the hardest part of solving any problem is not typing in the code or following along with me and typing in what somebody does in the YouTube channel. It's figuring out the algorithm, is what we call in computer science, the algorithm, which means the solution to the problem. Like if I'm hungry, what's the solution to that problem? I eat. So eating is an algorithm for solving the problem of being hungry. You don't have any food, well, then that's a different issue. You have to get some money or go out and shoot something or procure food somehow. So an algorithm is a solution to a problem. Oh, I do have a to-do that goes with that, don't I? This may not be the same solution, but this is what I'm saying out loud and what Francisco said is what you would talk to your duck about, or you'd think through it, or you draw it out on paper, whatever works for you for solving a problem before you type in the code. I'm just doing it with code because I'm better at typing than I am drawing and stuff. So if the hours worked is over 40, we already know the regular pay, so that's out of the equation. The only thing we have to take care of is that extra 5 hours. So how do we take care of that extra 5 hours? What do we do? We have our constant of 1.5, right? Yes,
You maybe can do hours worked minus 40, and you get the excess.
okay, you said hours worked?
Hours worked minus.
Oops, I had my caps
40.
on accidentally, just a second. Hours worked minus 40,
Yeah,
yeah? And what does that give us?
the overtime.
Time, yeah, overtime. I guess you could say overtime hours, I don't know.
What if the regular pay hours work? If the hours worked equals 45 right now, you're gonna have. With. I don't know how to explain it, but you're not gonna have the time and a half with hours, like right now. The user, if we had a user input and they put 45, the first one isn't gonna give them time and a half, and I know we're. Doing.
You're right,
It
you're right.
helps, but. When, I don't know, maybe I'm just.
No, you're thinking through the problem. So at this point, we've calculated regular pay on the first 40 hours. We've done nothing with overtime pay,
Well,
right?
well, except right now, at least, we have hours worked as equals 45.
Right,
So
so we
that-
have 5 hours to take care of.
Right. But your hours worked time is gonna be 45 times the regular rate. Times the hourly rate, I mean,
Yeah, that's one possible solution, yeah. No, that's fine.
it's, okay. I don't know. Whatever.
No, there's 2 different ways you can go with that. Go ahead, Benjamin. Which way are you going?
It's like you leave a regular.
The regular pay is already calculating the overtime.
We're gonna.
Okay, say that again. Hello, I can't hear Benjamin. Thank you.
I'm trying to say that the regular pay is already calculating the overtime. Because
Okay.
that will be like 45 times 14. And that's already getting
Mhm.
the over.
Right.
Overtime hours, and if you add the overtime hours below, you're adding more overtime. Like, let's say the hours are 5 more hours in overtime, you're adding 10. Because before you're adding
Okay.
the hours worked, you're
Mhm.
45.
So in this example, I'm just gonna go through from the beginning, see if I understand what you're saying. The hours worked is 45, so right here we have 45 hours times the hourly rate. Because no matter how much Ignacio works, he gets his regular $14 an hour, period. And that covers everything. Okay, now the next part, we're taking 45 hours, right? Minus 40, now what does that give us? It gives us only the overtime hours, right? And if we multiply the overtime hours times what?
Overtime rate,
Well, that would give us,
overtime pay, overtime extra.
it would, well, there's another factor in there. Let's just go ahead and put in overtime pay. Overtime pay equals, so this guy is the overtime rate, right? Which is 1.5 times the hourly rate times the hours. So we have to have all those in there. Was that where you were heading?
Mhm.
Okay,
Yeah.
I just didn't give you enough time to finish. So hourly rate, whoops,
Wait,
times,
no, 'cause we already paid from the hourly rate, I thought.
right?
The regular pay.
You're correct.
So shouldn't we just add the hourly rate times the hours, overtime hours times the overtime rate?
Okay,
But don't we need to account for the hours?
well, we have 5 hours. But to figure out what our overtime rate is going to be, we multiply this times this, which gives us like $17 an hour. Is that what we want to do? That's what you're saying, right? We end up paying them too much.
Yeah,
Would it be, just as a thought, would it be simpler just to calculate the first 40 and then just calculate the next ones?
yeah,
I mean, that's just another solution.
that's right. I think I had the formula wrong in my head.
No, you're fine. This is part of thinking through the problem is getting everything sorted out. And this we can kind of do in our head. But as we get more complex, we're gonna have to start writing things down. So maybe we divide it and yes,
You may just wanna do like the hours worked over 40 and then an else, and you get the regular pay.
Yeah.
If the hours are not over 40, you get an else for the regular pay, and that probably is going to resolve most of the problems we're having right now.
mhm. Yeah, I think this is what you're saying. If the hours worked is,
Over 40.
Less,
you want to do overtime first?
Yeah, if there's no overtime, we do your regular pay.
Well, to
That's what
figure
I-
out if we have no overtime, would we want to say if it's less than or equal to 40, right?
But yeah, that's just the.
That means I'm getting everything from 40 on down.
Mhm.
So anything from 0 to 40 I catch here, and then we do the regular pay first. Is that where we're heading?
Yeah.
Okay. And then, yep, everybody's happy there. But we only go here because we can have, if it's under 40,
For overtime pay, would we not say regular pay times 1.5 to solve everything? Cause it's accounting for the worked and the hourly rates instead of manually putting all the lines together.
I'm not sure what you mean.
Like,
Because if we have 40 or under, we're gonna multiply the hours worked times the hourly rate, because we're not gonna have over 40. That gives us our regular pay. We've done that part.
Mhm.
Now we're going to look at, okay, now if they have overtime pay, what do we do?
oh. Yeah, that's what I was saying though, cause all you have to do is just times by 1.5.
Times what by 1.5?
Like the regular pay times 1.5.
Where?
It went with the equal overtime underscore pay.
Okay, we could do a else and then we can do regular pay, we can multiply the by 40 and then get
Do we
the,
want to do else?
yes, because if we have hours worked is less than 40, then we pay them regular. And then if it's over, we only want to pay them for 40 hours. And then the difference is the,
So you want to go the other way around? Is that what you're
uh,
saying?
I think it works like this.
So we're doing the regular pay. If it is over 40 hours, we go here.
Yes. and then
Okay.
we go-
Yep,
and
got
then-
it.
And then.
So we don't need to test if it's over 40,
Yeah.
right? That's what you're saying?
And then in there, we do. We're gonna want our base, like our base payment. I guess you would say,
It'd be hourly rate.
yeah, so we know it's gonna be 40 of them, or gonna be,
So we have our hourly rate times, where's my star?
40.
Overtime, yeah, overtime rate. So that gives us our overtime.
But we also want to do the. Another regular pay equals.
Why regular? Cause you're looking at overtime.
But when it's over 40, we're not gonna hit the first one, we're gonna hit the second one.
so you also need, yeah, you
We need
need
a
to
regular
40 to multiply the regular by 40 and then do the overtime.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Add that to it.
So that same line, we will do it.
So here, just to reiterate, we're calculating as the regular pay, we're done. If it's over 40, we're still gonna calculate the regular pay, right?
Oh,
But
Times 40 instead of hours worked. You know. It's
Right. because we know it's at least 40, which this should be a constant of work hours or something,
Yeah.
but we'll just do it this way to figure out the problem. So our regular pay is going to be 40 hours, right?
times five.
That's making sense.
And then now we have our overtime pay as well. From when we had that overtime. So that's hourly rate times overtime hours times the other overtime rate. Let's multiply all three of those different.
And so this one's in the wrong place. This should be overtime pay, right? What do you think?
That'll give us just like the 5 hours, so then we need to do. Look,
And then you
yeah,
have,
add the overtime pay and the regular pay.
Well, in this case, there's a couple different ways to solve that. The regular pay is the 40 hours. The overtime pay is anything over 40. And then I think we had this conversation, we talked about gross pay. Was that another class? It might have been. Total pay, maybe.
okay, I think
Right.
that's good, yeah.
Because usually when you get a pay stub with, I haven't gotten one of these in years, but when at the time, in between college semesters, I was working at an auto parts store or something, but you'd have this is your regular hours, here's your overtime pay, and then you had a total whatever you got. So somehow we want to end up with a total pay. We'll just call it total pay, right? Because that'll be whatever we have. Right?
Sorry, overtime period, those together.
So it'd be overtime pay plus regular. Now, there is a problem with this.
You can just
Facts.
equal it to 0. Overtime pay equals to 0 when it's on the 40 hours.
Well,
You can do that, or you can just put it in the indent of the other. And then it wouldn't.
Regardless, we can't calculate with it if it doesn't have a value.
So
And if we go here, it's not going to have a value. So it's common when you do that to just initialize the variable ahead of time.
Yeah.
So you do what is it we're doing? Overtime pay, yeah. You're just initializing with a 0, so it's gonna have no effect here. And this will get changed here, so 0 plus 40 hours is not gonna change anything. Because you can't calculate by something that doesn't have a value. And in one of these cases, it will be empty.
and it will give us syntax.
Yeah, it'll just say there's nothing here. You can't calculate with that. It's a memory space, but there's nothing in it. I don't know what to do. And we'll just print total. Pay and, yeah. Oh, we should probably print both of those. Yeah, this is not a lovely program, but it's not supposed to be at this point. Do you have to make your program lovely the first time around? No, you just go through and see if you can get it to work, and then you can make it be pretty. I'm not even labeling what these things are, which would probably be helpful. But we don't need to. All right, let's see. I usually have samples just to show if your calculations are right. Yeah, I have 40 and I have 50. So let's see if what we did matches that or not. Because hopefully I have discovered times, of course, when my answers here were wrong because I got the program wrong. That will happen.
Oh,
Oh, I have the wrong thing in here, don't I? This should be, we'll do 40 first. There we go. So that's the first input test we have is 40 and the hourly rate is 10. Oh, I did this some time ago.
oh, so we're printing, we're not like allowing the user to put input.
You don't have to.
Oh, okay.
And in this case, I'm not. I'm hard coding it just to test it. I could do input. I could add input later.
Okay.
You know, you don't have to build the program all at once. I'm building it little pieces. Could I have tested this as I've gone? Yes, but it's not that big a program. So, yeah, and that's a good question and a good point. You don't have to do everything all at once. Test as you go. I could have tested just did the hourly, if I was at 40 and under, did that part work? And then finish the rest of it. So you can test as you go. If you build an entire program and it fails, well, then you have to start dividing to figure out where the error is. So if you test as you go, and I should have done that, I just didn't think of it. So we have the next test is 25 and we have 50 hours. So I give you some test values and it's supposed to be 1,000, 375 and 1,375. So we know our algorithm, our calculations are working. So yes, then I can change this to input, here's a float, you know, all that sort of stuff, and then make it look prettier when I print it. But I don't have to be pretty to start with. I don't have to do the entire program. I can go through stages of it. In software development, it's like you have alpha, you have beta 1, beta 2, beta 3, beta 5, alpha 1, alpha 2, and then they finally released it as 1.0. Uh-oh, we blew up something. We better put out a 1.01 to fix all the errors. And then 1.02 and 1.03. So professional software developers use that same process of iteration to, uh-oh, we made a mistake. Let's fix it. Let's fix it. Oh, let's add a new feature. They're adding things gradually. In the older days, we used to use what's called the waterfall method, which really has nothing to do with it. But they would spend 3 years and release one gigantic project, one gigantic program. Now everything is certain release cycles, like Microsoft updates and adds features and stuff every month. You may have a Google app that updates every week. And so they're gradually making changes. Because it's impossible, it's much harder to write a giant program and test everything. Because no matter how much you test it, you can't, it's hard to simulate the real world of regular people doing things that nobody expected, which is where security vulnerabilities come in. You can't anticipate everything.
True.
Which is why they put out patches to fix it after, oh yeah, here's something, a problem. In fact, as part of that, if you want to make some extra money, which I've never even tried, I don't know if anybody's heard of this before.
Bug
Bounties.
Oh, yeah, I know, yeah.
Yep. So like there's big companies that do this. Yeah. If you find a bug, sometimes you get money, sometimes you get recognition, you know. So lots of big companies, Microsoft, they want to find out if there's something wrong. They don't want you hacking them. They want to pay you to find something wrong and let them know so they can fix it. So yeah, there's a bug bounty thing. I'm not to the point where I can do bug bounties. But yeah, there's all kinds of bug bounty. Why you suck at, yeah, well, I would suck at it. I don't know enough to really look, but yes. So there's like, this is one I've looked at before. It's like, oh my goodness, I had no idea there were even all these people. Yeah, look at all these people. Android, well, we've all heard of Android before.
Yeah.
What is this? Is this where they offer a bug bounty? Oh yeah, they offer a bug bounty. Sometimes they'll have swag, Hall of Fame, put your name up there. You know, sometimes that's all you want. You just want the recognition.
Yeah.
You don't need money. You just enjoy doing it. That's where a lot of open source software comes from. Like Visual Studio Code is, I'm pretty sure it's open source. Yeah. So people contribute to it just because they like it. They like to do things like that. It's fun.
Yeah.
You know, everybody enjoys different things. So now we have gone through yet. Oh, we have a chat and I'm not good at chats. Raven says, am I recording? I am, and I'm going to turn it off. That is something that I do